Hello, welcome to How to Draw Celtic Knots with your host, Jason Belchamber. This is part 2 of a simple Triskele from folio 29 of the Lindisfarne Gospels. Take your thick marker and draw around your spine with an even distance, making a ribbon, and alternate there and there. You're going to make it about that round to follow the spine. Over. And the next one's going to be under, so you stop. Then bring this one down. Now I do the second side of the ribbon. And then stop. Over. Under. So I like to complete each terminal spot where it turns. So basically we're going to be repeating this pattern and filling it in. Over. And this one goes over. This one goes over. This is a bit of a challenge to get into the zone of it alternating, but the final product is really pleasing. So as you can see, these are the plain ones, like the blue and the red that I showed you in portion 1. And these two, what I'm going to do is show you how to do it with the spine. So what you do is you start to trace the spine and then make 2 ribbons beside it. So you're going to have 2 ribbons. It's more of an intricate way of depicting this knot. So basically you repeat exactly what you did before. Like so. It's interesting. I'm sure that a knot like this likely arisen from simple Viking and Saxon knots, which are found on artifacts from about. It's a really simple knot, a Saxon knot like this, but it's not a Triskele. What makes it Celtic is the fact that it's a repeating 3. A lot of early Viking patterns. Now, try and draw in between your ribbon to make it consistent. Depending on your pen and your style, you can practice doing this with a smaller nibbed pen. But try and keep it in between the lines you've drawn. It just gives it a real organic feel. We can thicken that up later. Bigger. Actually, today I will cross hatch it. It's good to practice these steps because Celtic knots normally will occur in different shapes other than just a grid like so, to make it really interesting. The monks, as you noticed, use different colors, not just black and white, and they had the knotwork filling in the space, just like the roots of a tree do, which might be a loose connection to a definition of knotwork, because if you look in the natural world, that's where you get influences for music and art, as well as food. But the repeating patterns are definitely symbolic for a reason. representing waves of nature and the year. And seeing as this one comes during the Christmas season, it's celebrated in so many cultures, like Yule, and Hogmanay, which is basically the Scottish New Year. You'll find this design on patterns in Scotland, as well as England and Ireland and Wales. Right, so let's cross-hatch it the other way. And we're almost done. Speaking of Christmas, you can tell what months the fall are, because the fall months always end in Burr, like November and October. There we go. Just fill in a little step at a time. And don't stop if you make a mistake. This is all practice. Right. So the last step would be erasing your pencil spine once it's all dry. Some inks you want to wait several minutes for the ink to dry, but I find that permanent inks from a quality pen is worth the money and aggravation. It's a little bit harder to draw with non-permanent inks, or inks that are really heavy. You just want to go a lot slower with. So to make this nice, I'm just going to fill it in with a really thick pen. This will just make it a little smoother too. I find the fatter pens, you have to use it as if it was a brush, because there's so much ink coming out of that tip at once. You could definitely use a pen like this if we were drawing it more than 20 centimeters wide. But if you're doing that, you're probably going to carve it in stone, which is what a lot of the artists did. They'd use this spine with a piece of chalk, and then they'd carve it in a nice semi-hard rock like sandstone. And if you ever have any questions, please feel free to email me at jason@bellchamber.net. Just a little bit slower. Next, I'm going to go around with my second thickest marker and just make this really even. I'll do this over two, just so we save a little bit of time. Doing this in different medium, such as like paint, requires a lot of practice. But the end result in each medium would just make it fantastic to look at. So I'm just going over the line, just making it a little thicker. And second one is almost complete. Just take out all those little burrs or pen marks that's still sticking in the sides of it. That's starting to look really nice. Now, just make your spine a little bit thicker so that both sides are even. Then you do your outer edges, because this one is a little more difficult. Use it to try and make them as thin and as even. These little bumps, you want to do those in a swoop, like that. It does require a little bit of hand strength, but if you're obsessed, like an artist is, with drawing and making a mark, then your hand actually doesn't really feel like a workout. There's that second spine there. Now with these fine ones, obviously the next step is to go to your thinnest marker. Like so. And just edge it in a bit.